Breaking news today. Sarkozy was criticized in France for advocating a middle ground with Russia. Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy has caused outrage in both Kyiv and Paris by suggesting that new referendums in occupied territories could put an end to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The Ukrainians, it can be expected, will seek revenge for their country's unjust loss of territory. Sarkozy told the conservative newspaper Le Figaro on Wednesday that if the two sides cannot manage it completely, the choice will be between a frozen conflict or taking the high road out with referendums strictly overseen by the international community. The former French leader made this statement in reference to the Crimean Peninsula, which Russia claims to have annexed in 2014. And an incontestable referendum will be needed to solidify the current state of affairs, he said. Sarkozy claimed that he convinced Putin to withdraw his tanks during Moscow's invasion of Georgia in 2008, proving that the Russian leader is not irrational and open to European diplomacy. He affirmed that Russia will always be Europe's neighbor. Diplomacy, dialogue, and negotiations are still our best bet for reaching a mutually beneficial agreement. Without giving something up, you can't get anything. Sarkozy continued by saying that Ukraine should remain neutral, and that it belonged neither in the EU nor NATO. Kyiv quickly responded, with senior aide to President Volodymyr Zelensky Mikhailo Podolyak calling the comments criminal logic. You cannot trade other people's territories because you are afraid of someone or are friends with criminals, Podolyak added. During his time in office, Sarkozy deliberately participated in a criminal conspiracy for Russia's seizure of Ukrainian territories, as he put it. The former French president, who has spent much of his time since leaving office defending himself against a variety of legal cases, has also been the target of an assault in his home country. Sarkozy should be considered a Russian influencer, said Julien Bayou, a senior Green Party MP, to broadcaster LCI, calling the interview lunatic and shocking. Bayou recalled a current probe into alleged influence peddling and cover-ups involving Sarkozy's lucrative ties to a Russian insurance company. Former intelligence advisor Jérôme Poirot called the comments shameful to LCI. While in office from 2007 to 2012, Sarkozy was a leading voice in opposition to Georgia and Ukraine joining NATO in 2008, a move that ultimately did not prevent Russian invasions of those countries. Where exactly did President Sarkozy draw the line? How did he envision the safety of France in the future? What, he wondered, was he doing by simply caving in to whatever Vladimir Putin wanted? The source claims that Melania Trump publicly supports her husband, but that she also wants to keep her distance from the many legal battles the former president will face as a result of the many state and federal indictments against him. Melania publicly supports her husband but privately prefers a life with 100% privacy and no press scrutiny, the insider told People on Wednesday. She knows how her husband is, but she still believes there has been too much dumping on him and wants nothing to do with any of it, the source continued. She despises all the court cases, but never opens up about it. She's in charge of her own life. The 53-year-old Melania has reportedly spent the summer in New York while her ex-president husband, 77-year-old Donald, campaigns across the country for next year's presidential election.